Hello, my trust and belief followers and viewers. Some of the language might not be appropriate for certain audiences, so don't take offense. Because I might say some shit that's not appropriate. Good evening, everybody. And welcome back to Trust and Believe. Episode 5, y'all. 5 is alive. So, I got a request for everybody. If this is your first time tuning in, I want you guys to go back and check out 1, 2, 3, and 4 episodes so I can catch you up to speed with 5. So 5 is alive, and today, the 5th episode, is our topic is going to be coping. Coping. How do you cope? And in my book right here, Formula for Success, Reentry -OTO, I write a mantra on every title in the book. So I'm going to go to the coping chapter and open up and let you guys see what I wrote about coping. So page 156. So this is what I wrote about coping. Coping is to take on a situation positively. Grow as you go and go as you grow. Being mentally, emotionally, and spiritually not worrying or stressing over matters that are out of your control or things you do not have power to change. So that's my take on coping. So how do you cope? And first, I'm gonna ask my crew, how they cope? How you cope? How you cope with it? Joe?
How I cope is I go to the gym.
How you cope with Isaiah?
I drive my car to far places.
How you cope with it, Keisha?
I meditate.
All right. Me, myself, I have different coping mechanisms, and it all just depends on the situation. So, coping is regulating your nervous system. So, everybody has different coping mechanisms. What do? Meditate, pray, do you listen to music? Do you get in your car and take a drive? Do you just sit somewhere silently? Do you shuffle cards? Do you twist your fingers? What do you do to cope? Do you go work out? Do you go to the beach? Do you go to the gym? What is your coping mechanism? And how do you know that it works for you? Because everybody's different. Every situation is different. And the thing about coping is that you have to learn what makes you better. Because like I tell people, everybody's out here. We've all been through something. We all been through a little pain. So the world is strange, man. And after you done did 10, 20, 30 years in prison, you come home, it's so much change, including yourself. Because you're not the same person that you was when you went in. And nobody that you knew before you went in is the same person when you came out. Trust and believe that. I don't care if they still look the same, still smell the same, still talk the same, still live in the same place. They're not the same. Everybody is different now. So you have to understand what it is and what that person is. Coping is a big ass responsibility. Because freedom is a responsibility, right? And you have to have choice. Coping is a lot because you have to choose what you're gonna do to make you feel better. What you're gonna do to subside the feeling. What you're gonna do to calm down a heightened emotion. What you're gonna do to not be sad. How to deal with shame. Let it go. Let it go. Gotta let it go again and again and again. You gotta forgive, but don't forget. But you gotta forgive and you gotta move on. Because guess what? A lot of people struggle with technology and the fact that technology evolves every day. Get a new iPhone every month. Different iPhones come out. Some people don't even know how to make a basic email setup. Basic, just email. That's some basic stuff. But guess what? I didn't know how to do it when I came out of prison. Somebody had to show me. getting on the internet. I didn't even know how to turn the computer on. Like, where the button at? What does thing work? So these are things we have to deal with, you know. And I tell people all the time, there are good people still out here in the world, great people in the world. But you have to have discernment. You have to utilize your energy and your being to feel if somebody is good for you. Somebody, you know, you feel like you got a good situation. Because in the hood, you know, like I know, there's some good people, and there's definitely some roses that grew through that concrete. You know that. So at the end of the day, you know, in order to give back, you want to be a solution when you used to be a problem, you know, you got to generate what you want. You got to be open and go get it. Because if you want to give back, you want to be a new person and be generous, help people, help other people to learn your traumas, start healing from your own traumas. That's what coping is. But to have the discernment for yourself, you have to have these coping mechanisms. So, for example, I'm gonna give you guys a great example. Today, one of our crew members couldn't be here. Unfortunately, his damn PO wouldn't sign his travel form. We paid for his ticket. We had everything arranged for him to be sitting right here with me doing this interview. Well, fuck. Damn PO didn't want to sign the paper. We lost money. We lost time. We lost a good interview. Now we got to do the interview on Zoom.
I introduce to you guys our audio engineer and editor for Trust and Believe, Mr. Tommie Hall.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
How you doing today,
Yeah.
brother?
I'm good. I'm doing well. Glad to be here. No, I missed out with you guys, but I'm glad to at least be here talking with you.
So tell us a little bit about how you felt about missing the opportunity to be with us live in space. Tell us about how you're dealing with that, how you coping with that, because this is the episode of coping. So, you know, give us a little bit of how you deal with that situation.
Right. Yeah, that was a tough situation to deal with because on one hand, I think there was I heard of a rule that I can leave if I'm not going to be more than 48 hours. Then I don't really got to check with my PO. So I was getting that on one hand, but then wanting to be respectful on the other hand of my PO and not put myself in a jam or a bind if I somehow got caught up out there or with a ticket, a jaywalking, or whatever. You feel me? And he here, what are you doing in LA? You feel me? So on one hand, I was just like, man, I'm gonna just go, you know. And then on another hand, I wanted to be respectful. So man, it was a little frustrating that I couldn't be a part of the team, and I really wanted to meet all you guys and just sharing that team energy. You feel me?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I definitely feel it because we was feeling it. We was like, man, we wanted Tommie to be here so we could eat, break bread. So, you know,
Right.
So we had to deal with that, and you know, we had to get the ticket
Yeah.
refunded and all of that stuff. So it was a little bit of hassle, but you know, just coming home, being fresh out. What is some of the challenges that you're facing, and have you met the point of the edge or come to the point of the ethics?
Yeah. So yeah, I've definitely had some challenges since I've been out. You feel me? Especially with dealing with different communication styles, dealing with different relationships, dealing with no's, not finding a job for a while, actual, like a 9 to 5 to be more stable and steady. It was kind of hard just receiving a lot of no's like that, even the no from my PO, like that's just another no, you know what I'm saying? So it's been hard. I've definitely reached the edge a couple of times where I was just like, this is stressful. This is a lot of stuff coming at me at one time. I got a lot of people pulling on me in different directions.
Yeah,
Right.
have you got to, at any time since you've been home, have
Yeah.
you got to the point where you was right at the trigger and be like, F it?
Yeah, I've been there, but I didn't say F it. But in my mind, I damn near went to the efforts on a young cat last week where
Mm,
he bumped into me, a little cat that I work with, said a little comment, dude looked like he wanna be a thug or something like that, real young. And he didn't know what kind of day I was having. He don't know what I've been through in my life. He don't know what kind of things I'm going through in my home and things I'm praying for, but also how frustrated this life can be trying to build your life again after, decades in prison. And so, yeah, I thought for a minute, like, yeah, you're gonna be the one, bro. You're gonna be the one I mess it up for. Keep it up. You feel me? Like he don't even know what's going on in my mind. And I could give off an innocent look, but it's still a lot of things from my past I gotta work through in my mind. But I was definitely at the efforts for sure.
So my
Absolutely.
next question is this, Brother Tommie.
Yeah.
How are you coping with fatherhood and balancing the relationship at the same time with your woman and
Mm,
your children's mother? How is that working out? 'Cause I know that's a lot of pressure coming home and have to fend for
yeah.
your children and build a relationship not only with your children, but
Hmm.
also mother of your children who you're living with. And
Right.
it's one thing to say, okay, I'm ready to come home to you, I'm here, but to
Hmm.
actually do it is what really is the challenge. So give us a little insight of, how you're coping with fatherhood and balancing the relationship at the same time.
Yeah. So those have been big challenges. Big
Mhm.
challenges. Especially I would say not both of them, but I would say, fatherhood has been a challenge in the fact that I wasn't here. You know, I
Mhm.
wasn't here in this house. They got a way of doing things.
Mhm.
They got a respect for their mama they don't really got for me yet. I gotta earn every. They playing me. They trying to. They mama telling them no, they can't have it. They come over to me and daddy, can I have it? And next thing you know, I'm giving in,
Yeah,
not knowing. They playing one against the two. So, but a lot of that is done on my behalf because they testing my limits. They
Mhm.
want to see what they can get away with,
Mhm.
and yeah, man, it's been a challenge, but it's been beautiful that I get to wake up every day and show them consistency. You know, I get
Yes.
to wake up and show them consistency, and so um, ultimately we're doing well. Me and the kids, and they're growing to understand who I am. Um, I'm
Mhm.
I'm having to learn how to discipline because I didn't get good discipline when I was young. I would say I got beat. You feel me? I had a belt to my back. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
um, I have to find a way to parent where I'm still administering discipline, but I'm not being violent. And I'm not um, showing them rage and wrath. So
Yes.
it's a balance. It's it's um it's different, bro, because I'm living in a cell for 20 years. I'm living with nothing but men. And it's
Mhm.
one or two ways we can do this. You know what I'm saying? We don't agree. You could either get up out of here or we could put our shoes on and we could put our TVs under the bunk. You know what I mean? And we can do something. But when you dealing with I got 5 daughters.
Mm.
And when you dealing with girls and you dealing with women, man, this is different. It challenges you, it stretches you in a lot of different ways. You feel me? So
Yeah.
just understanding how do I get through? How do I get through? How do I show them the love that they want, but also be firm in that you're not gonna get everything you want your way all the time. It's just been a little difficult for me to try to get my mind frame out of. I'm not talking to a grown man no more. I can't talk to these kids like I talk to people on the yard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I gotta be soft. I gotta be gentle. I gotta be able to love them, you know, uh, and show them that type of love that they need. And then, with my wife, things have been difficult because she's been doing things her way and doing a
Yeah.
good job for a long time. So
Yeah.
being understanding of that, but also, you know, having my opinions and wanting to lead as the man of my house too. It's been a clash here and there, you know, but I think we're getting to a point where we're learning how to communicate all over again, because we on the phone, it's different. We got 15-minute calls, it's different. We can show each other some of the best parts of ourselves over the phone. But when we hear every day, all day, and we get to see the ups, downs, and the uglies, we're learning how to communicate and
Yeah.
get through it. But it's difficult. It's difficult.
And I want to go back to the point when you said in prison, talking to grown men that might know certain situations, but now on the street, you talking to your babies. These are your babies and these are your baby girls. So you got to have that. You got to be soft. You got to be stern. You got to be secure. You got to be loving. And you got to understand that you're actually talking to some children. They intelligent and they smart, but they don't know things from an adult experience situation. So you got to break things down. And you got to dumb yourself down to actually communicate to them what it is so it can get through to them.
Absolutely.
And they have their understanding. Because kids are smart, you know what I mean? They smart as hell, but we have to also understand who we're talking to.
Absolutely. You know what? I grew up in an era where it was like, I ain't explaining nothing to no kid. Do what I say. and I still got to get out of that mentality myself of like, nah, this is a little human. I got to learn how to explain things and not just boss them around and tell them what to do all the time. So,
is there any other challenges that you noticed that since you came home that you didn't really even think about when you was inside, and now that you're out, it's like, wow, I didn't even think about this.
You said something in the first episode of this season, right? And as I'm doing the audio, I'm listening and I'm agreeing, I'm hearing things. And one thing you said was, you don't know reentry until you get out here.
Yeah.
And bro, like I spent years doing my board packet. I spent years knowing my triggers. I spent years knowing in and out myself to the max. I'm helping other people with their board packets. You know, I'm the reentry guy in there.
Yeah.
I got all the resources. I know, you know, what to give you and what area. Oh, you over there? There's a transitional house over here for you. Boop, boop, boop. You got groups over there. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
But when I get out here, I'm hit with a flood of things that I just did not know how to do and what to do in them situations. You know, I had went to the store, and this is common. I hear it. You know, I heard this when I was still in, and my friends had got out, and I'm talking to them over collect calls, and they telling me the same things is selection anxiety. Like I got too much options.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I go into a store and it's people behind me like, hurry up. And I'm still stuck on the menu. Like, hold on, I don't know what I want.
Yeah.
Cause I'm used to like getting my tray handed to me and this is what you get.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, there's just so many options. Also, dealing with credit cards and stuff like that has been difficult at times where I'm going in the store and I don't know where to tap this thing at. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how these things work. I don't know how to fill out forms, and just having to lower myself to ask for help. 'Cause I'm a guy that had figured things out in the environment that I had while I was in there. I figured it out. You know what I'm saying? Through the help of God and through the help of good people that I watched and that helped me, you know, get to a level. Inside, I had figured things out and I had a good program. But out here, man, I need help.
So Tommie, tell me, I know it's a lot of things you've been dealing with, but tell me, how do you actually get through some of the things when stuff comes to your front door and it's right there and you got to deal with it?
I reach a point where I can't do nothing but pray. You know what I mean? I'm not going back to the person I used to be. I might have those thoughts, but ultimately, man, I rely on prayer. I got a good team, a community of formerly incarcerated people, some that have been out longer than me. A lot of people I went to church with. I got a great faith community that I talk to, that I hold accountable. I think the worst thing for me as somebody that relied on dishonesty in the past, like as a way of life, is to be honest with my feelings. And so I talk to people about what I'm going through, because if I harbor it and it build up, it could explode in the wrong ways. You feel me? So for me, it's talking that stuff out with people that I know gonna give me sound counsel. And also thinking about service to others, like, finding ways that I can help other people so I don't be thinking about myself all day. So let me go find something nice to do for somebody else.
To say that now you're a thinking man and you playing chess and not checkers, and you're looking
Absolutely.
at the end game. So one more question I want to ask you:
Yep.
have you and your loved ones come up with any type of trigger codes, any type of words, trigger words or codes, to where when she's feeling irritated or you feeling irritated, a word or a letter or a number, something that you could say to each other that kind of like give the other person sitting like, hey, you're almost at that point.
Yeah, we got a couple safe words.
Yeah, safe
We got a
words.
couple
Say
safe words, bro.
Okay.
We created a couple before I even got out.
That's
One
great.
of them was hun, and that's when I'm focusing on everybody but my wife, and she needs some love too. And
Yeah.
she's like, hun, give me some love. And so, because I got a tendency to be running around with the kids or doing things, for everybody else, and then sometimes my wife like, hey, I need some love over here.
Yeah.
Like, okay, my bad. So, we got that one. We also got, I'm a very, but I went through a long time in prison where I couldn't hug nobody, kiss nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To now, I don't want to do nothing but smother my family with hugs and kisses, right?
Yeah.
I'm very PDA-ish, you feel me? So we got code word for that too, where
Yeah.
it's like, "Ooh, you smothering me, like, give me some space."
Yeah.
And so that's that's cool too. So, we got a few code words.
And that's great. That's great. You guys got that mental telepathy going on. You got to look. It's like the old look when a mother or the parent look at the child, be like,
Yeah.
don't do that. And child,
Right.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's a great thing, because I mean, in coping and dealing with people and situations, it's definitely a great thing if you could actually build up those safe words and safe codes so that people can not trigger off and or get to the point where they're at the epics. So those are the things that I encourage anybody that's coming home from prison to, establish that with their relationship or the people that they're in relationship with, so that you can nip things in the butt and avoid clashes that that really will be just miscommunication. But the
Right.
fact you guys have a code, it's something going on there, and it's a backstory to it, to where, okay, hey, hey, hon, I need some hugs over here, hon. Don't play with me.
Yeah.
Everybody getting
Yeah.
love today. I need a hug too. So, just
Sure.
those words and those safe space codes is very, very effective. I think it's finding to be effective for people. So,
Yeah.
is there anything else that you would like to leave with our trust and belief followers, man? Anything you would like to let them know about how they could possibly cope, some things that you do and that you're doing that you would definitely advise for them to do so that they could be better and have a better relationship with their kids or their wife or their meal, wherever?
So yeah, I definitely want to say something, because I have a great community of brothers that been formerly incarcerated, and we stick together. There's at least like 20 of us. We on a text message thread. We keep in contact. We hold each other accountable. But I see a lot of my brothers is struggling in different areas, and especially in the area of women. And most brothers in relationships, right after you come home and you get in a relationship, those relationships can bring up all kind of triggers that you didn't have when you wasn't living with a woman and dealing with, things that you wasn't dealing with. And so, man, I know we go through our coping skills while we're in there, and we memorize them, so that when we get the board and they ask us what our coping skills is, we're able to to speak those things out. But you really gonna have to find ways that really work for you, really coping skills that really work for you when you get out here, because you're gonna be tested to all your limits in all different ways. And so, for my brothers that's sitting there, this ain't just uh, a test when you go to board and you got to get all the answers right. You're gonna actually have to use every single one of them things. And so practice using them while you in there, because you're gonna reach your limits when you get out here, and you're dealing with bosses that don't give you respect. You're dealing with people that don't know who you used to be. You may have been somebody in prison, but they don't know who you is. You may have been a scary dude in your past, but you're a nice guy now. You know, you're gonna be tested in a lot of different ways. So
So Tommie, I know, employment, it's a lot of hurdles and barriers out here in the community from when we come home from prison, especially after doing a long time and we don't have that work history. And then, you get to a job and, you get on and they hire you and they say, okay, well, you hired, and then your background check come back and they be like, oh, well, excuse me, sir, Mr. Hall. Unfortunately, we found this record and we got to let you go. Has that
Yeah.
happened to you? And how
Yeah.
have you had to deal with that?
right, that specifically hasn't happened to me, but my record has affected me in the interview process. And so just me being honest, everything going good all the way from the application to the interview, knocked it out the park. And then next thing you know, now they doing background check because you know what I'm saying? They looking into my past now. And then I don't receive a call back. And so just those little rejections over time, I had a few of them where I didn't get a job. I was I was qualified more than everybody else working there. From education standpoint to experience, but my experience was doing this stuff in prison. But they don't they're not looking at that. They
Yeah.
looking at being in prison. So that was definitely hard to deal with. And then not just the rejection, but the fact that what this rejection is resulting is me sitting on the couch at my house and my folks having to come and see me. It's hard to I think in this society, in this day and age, it's hard to respect a man that look like he ain't got a job. You feel me? So people looking, you ain't got a job yet? Or you was at home all day, what you do?
Yeah.
And that's a blow to your male ego right there. So dealing with that as well as the no's and the rejection, it gets a little hard, but you got to keep trucking, man. Because now I'm at a position now where I'm getting opportunities thrown at me left and right. I don't know if they're the right opportunities, and so I got so many offers on the table right now for jobs. I just don't know if they're the right jobs. You know what I'm saying? For
Yeah.
me, so.
So my last question is this. You was in jail over about 20 years, right? So
Yep.
you actually built up a patience, right?
Absolutely.
The patience that you had in prison that you built up for the streets, how is your patience helping you deal with the disrespect that's in society that you're running into now?
My patience is just helping me because I've grown it over time to where I don't react.
Mm-hmm.
I could even just stew in a whole bunch of negative feelings for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I'm not going to do nothing because I've trained myself not to react and not to be violent anymore, not to hurt nobody. And so, I'm just being patient. Like, okay, it hurts because this dude getting at me sideways, or they disrespecting me, or they giving me looks. So you see a lot of disrespectful stuff out here now. People just bump right into you, don't say nothing, step on your shoe, don't say nothing, cut you off in traffic and look at you. And I'm talking about this dude probably ain't been in a fight in his life, but he gonna give you a death stare and be like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh wow."
Like what?
You know what I mean?
Look at that.
Hey, what you want to do? Like they call you out, roll the window down, and be like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh." this is crazy, man. And that's what I used to do. Like I couldn't wait for somebody to want to fight. I'm like, oh, you want to fight? Let's go. But now it's just I got patience, and I learned how to be patient, and I'm relying on that now.
Well, that's good, man. Well, thank you, brother, for your time. And man, this
You.
is a great interview, man. I appreciate all the insight and intel that you relayed to the people so they can get some great information out of this.
That was a great Zoom. You guys see how Tommie is, see the things he had to deal with, hoping and not being able to come on here. We have to do it on Zoom. Guess what? We have 100% prison ingenuity up in this joint, y'all. We know how to get things done. We don't make excuses. We get it done. We better than Nike, because we don't just do it, we make it happen. Gonna bring this 5th episode to a close. Thank you guys for following us. I am Terrall Tillman. This is Trust and Believe. And as usual, I gotta give my crew a shout out. Trust and Believe couldn't be done without them. And also, all of my crew members have been formerly incarcerated, except the executive producer, Ms. Keisha and Knight. We got Mr. Jessie Rose. We got Mr. Joseph Jimenez. We got Mr. Isaiah Nazari. And our illustrious host here in Long Beach at Hostess of Learning, Queen Ava, and my man, Anders Clay. Thank you guys for following us. This is the 5th episode of Trust and Believe. Come back, episode 6. Thank you guys for following us. Mwah.